How to add a user. Start by clicking on the Administration tab and choosing the Users option. Inside of here, you'll see a list of users that are currently set up in your system. To add a new user, click the Add button at the top of the screen and start by filling out the credentials. If the user being added into the system requires software access, please enter in an email address. If this is going to be a driver, you are able to use a first and a last name. Also enter in the below requirements for first and last name. The authentication type is always going to be a basic authentication. You can choose to have the system email the user for them to create a password and access the software, or you can create a password for them. In this case, we're going to go ahead and click No and create a password. Okay. Please make sure you select the security clearance. Okay. In this case, we're going to choose supervisor, and then you have the option to select specific data access. So here, we're going to add it to the GoGPS Canada group. Okay. This means that I have security access into the system and only seeing all vehicles, groups, and users specifically for the Canadian group. If I scroll down, I do have the option to add in an employee number, a designation, and comments. Okay. There are also other tabs in here that you're able to update. For example, driver. If this user is a driver, you would then select yes. If you are planning on using hours of service and DVIR, please enter in the driver license number of the user as well as the state or province that the vehicle and user are in. There is an option for UI settings, so making sure you're choosing metric or imperial based off of what your requirements are. Choosing your time zone. Choosing the language. If the user needs access into the software, you can choose what type of page they see when they start up. Most users will start with the map, but you do have the option to see the dashboard, which has one-click application reports. You have the option to see just your list of vehicles, the option for product guide, and then the option for support. Okay. Again, if you are using hours of service, you're going to want to turn on the feature preview. This will then give you the option underneath the hours of service settings for the Canadian rule set hours. Okay. We will get to that in a quick second, but we're going to take a look at the map tab. Again, this is for accessing the software itself. It shows you what type of map is available. So our specific database allows us to use Google Maps. We have the option for satellite, road map, terrain, or bird's eye, and then the type of display. So we always leave that to default. And then the last tab is hours of service. So because I turned on the feature preview, we do have the option to change the rule set, and it does provide the Canadian cycles. Okay. You're going to want to make sure that you put in your home terminal information with the address. If there's a carrier number, you're going to want to put that information in there as well. We do have the availability to add a yard move and personal conveyance, but that's completely optional. And then also authority name and authority address have to be entered. Once all that information is added, depending on whether you need hours of service or not, you can then click Save, and your user has now been added to the list. To find that user and make adjustments, click in the Search Name field at the top left, and choose the name of the user, and you can make any adjustments as you see fit. For clearances, please click on the Clearance button at the top center, and each individual clearance will be listed in the format here. By clicking on the name of the clearance, you're able to see what the user is allowed to access. If I click Subclearance, I'm also able to create my own type of clearance. I can choose what needs to be able to be accessed and which ones do not. Once you've gone ahead and made the adjustments to the user clearance, click Save. And then if we go back to the clearance section, our new manager status has been made. Okay, so that covers how to add users and types of clearances that are available.